America seems to be doing well, don't they? All seems to be very normal over there at the moment. Anyway, today we're going to be taking a look at some weird things Americans have said on the internet from the subreddit r/word I'm not allowed to say yet because we're too early in the video and I love money. Americans say. There has never been another nation ever that has existed much beyond 250 years. Not a single one. America's 250th year is 2025. The next 4 are going to be pretty interesting considering everything that's already been said. I think the vast majority of countries are older than 250 years. My local pub is older than your country. Where'd you get this? This person probably thinks there were cavemen 300 years ago. How much does a ticket even cost? In a third world country like Spain, probably €1. Spain isn't a third world country. So why are people getting stabbed randomly on the streets all around Europe? The same way children are being shot all across America. Yeah. Oh my God. I've always paid with American dollars at McDonald's in Puerto Rico and Cancun, but in Europe it's suddenly all an issue. Because you're in Europe. You're not in Cancun or Puerto Rico. I'm surprised you could use it in Cancun, to be honest, because that's in Mexico. They'd probably just accept it because Americans are like, why can't I use it? I can use this in America. Why can't I use it money back? So they're probably just sick of it. The US is losing grip to China. Oh yeah, the famous Chinese currency, the euro, as the world's global superpower thanks to Joe Biden. His woke cabinet. I'm glad Trump got re-elected. Trump and Elon are definitely going to put an end to this nonsense. Yeah, the woke nonsense of not taking American dollars in Europe. Also, I love the hashtags here. We've got hashtag American, hashtag, as if we couldn't tell, hashtag Amsterdam, hashtag Holland, and then we've got hashtag Big Mac. Why don't they use normal American numbers on their clocks like the rest? That has to be bait. No, that's bait. That's bait. There are clocks like that in America as well. It's bait. It's bait. I'm not falling for it. Italian-American inventions. Very delicious and original. Italian inventions. Noodle, actually Chinese. That's one mannerism that really annoys me about Americans. When they call pasta noodles. They're not noodles. They're pasta. It's one I will have a bit of pasta, please. Not I will have a bit of noodle, please. God. Oh my God. I hate this. I hate this. I mean, if we take Greenland by force, who's going to stop us? Denmark. Yes, and the rest of the world. You can't just fucking invade a country that you're allies with. This sounds naive, but what keeps the USA from adopting stone, concrete, brick houses in general? It is the richest country on the planet. Why do most people live in rickety wooden tinder boxes? Because they're cheap to build and, you know, to be fair, half of me kind of wishes we built... Actually, no, I don't. It's not really the build of the houses that makes it expensive. It's the land it's on, innit? Like, no. Anyway, it's just cheap to build, innit? How do you add outlets and Ethernet to that? Takes 5 minutes with drywall. I mean, you can add outlets and Ethernet. If you think all these houses don't have Ethernet or power outlets. Stone and brick literally explode when exposed to fire. Where did you get this information from? It explodes. I mean, yeah, maybe if it's made out of dynamite. There appears to be some confusion around this topic, so allow me to clear it up. Irish Americans are Irish. Actually, I'd say we're more Irish than most natives. I would definitely say not, because that makes absolutely no sense. How are you more Irish than someone who is native to Ireland and lives there? European mind won't comprehend this heated driveway to avoid snow. That seems very expensive to heat. Like, I've got underfloor heating in my flat and it's fucking expensive. I am envious of your heated driveway. I'm going to be very honest, because if you can afford, if your heating over there is so cheap that you can afford to heat this, like basically a whole other house. Yeah, man, you're living the good life. Can't lie. Trump 2024. Those are Liberian flag. Wrong. Those are American flags. Then this has to be bait. That has to be bait. Airlines enforce 7 kilogram limit for carry-on bags. What the fuck is a kg? This is America. We deal in pounds here. It literally says Spirit of Australia on the side of the plane. I don't think this is specific to American Airlines. Cheese was invented here in the USA. We can cut it however we want. Cheese was it? Yeah. Cheese was invented in the USA. The ancient food of cheese. How old is cheese? I feel as though cheese is probably one of the oldest food products out there. Yeah, cheese is about 4,000 years old. Calling Americans obnoxious and loud is racist against blacks and Latinos. Europeans, Canadians, and Australians being glad we're gone and saying TikTok was much more quiet and saying that Americans were so loud and obnoxious. Dare I say this is racism against the blacks and Latinos of America? No, you're all just really loud. You're all loud. regardless of race, you are all just quite loud. Britain will not recognise Trump's order renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Yeah, that's such a stupid, pointless thing. The Gulf of America. Does it really matter? Absolutely not. Oh, but they will. Just watch. Britain needs our tax money and economy. They better change it on their maps. Same with Mexico. Yeah, change it to say Gulf of America. We'll be really upset. We'll put your taxes up if you don't change it on your maps. Sure, this is a silly question, but can anyone explain why someone would say $50 USD in a sentence? The dollar by definition is the symbol for US currency, just as the pound is the symbol for British pound sterling and the euro is the sound for EU's euro, and that's the yen that is the symbol for the Chinese yuan. Is it? No, that's wrong. It's the yuan. Actually, is it? Hang on. Yeah, okay. The Chinese yuan has one line at the top there. The Japanese yen has 2 lines, from what I can see. I could be wrong. The internet could be lying to me. It's close enough. I'll allow it. Isn't it easier and less redundant to say I sent my sister $50? Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but like people put USD on the end of it because there are many, many types of dollars in the world, like Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, etc., etc. So many dollars. So it's just good to specify. But if you're saying I sent my I sent my sister $50. Oh my god, what? Okay, this is mental. So they've got this like $95 for a meal or whatever. If you tip 30% on so, you know, you're a bit broke. 40% is okay. In what world is a 40% tip okay? 50% is good and 100% is thank you. What kind of absolute psychopath is tipping 100% on a meal? Nobody's doing that. You're getting 20% and you'll be happy with that. Denmark in crisis mode after horrendous phone call from Trump demanding to buy Greenland. You can do this the easy way or the hard way. Your choice, Denmark. Yeah, what are you gonna do, mate? What are you gonna do? You're gonna invade Denmark yourself, are you? Hard way, you mean by military force? Denmark doesn't have a military. It does. Well, the US would lose every ally they have with it. It's never gonna happen. We don't need any of them. We're America. Okay, I think you do. All right, it's a TripAdvisor review for what I assume is a restaurant. The treatment we received was extremely disrespectful. Despite being a diverse group of American individuals of Black and Spanish descent, we were denied service upon arrival. The staff raised their voices, claiming they were at capacity and could not assist us. However, mere moments later, they welcomed 2 Czech women without hesitation. Okay, let's do the maths here. You say you were in a group. It's probably because they had space for 2 people and not a whole group. One of our companions stepped outside after hearing the commotion caused by the waitstaff and remarked on their rudeness. It is clear that the lack of hospitality displayed by the staff may deter American patrons from visiting this establishment. I mean, they were probably at capacity, and that's why they rejected you. All right, culture shock as an American expat living in Amsterdam. Honestly, I've had so many people say that they'd love to live in Amsterdam. Like, oh, I'd love Amsterdam. I'd love to live there. I could never live there. Too many wankers on bikes for one. Like, there's enough of them in England. In Amsterdam, it's just amplified by 10 times. I don't know what it's like on the outskirts of Amsterdam, but in central Amsterdam, every other shop is just like selling weed stuff or sex-related stuff. And it just gets very boring after about half a day. And it's like, okay, we get it. We get that there is weed and sex here, Amsterdam. Okay. Being forced to walk because many streets are way too narrow for cars, or you could bike like a wanker. Why do they even build cities like this? Because it's a walkable city. Maybe these places were built long before there were cars. Why not demolish some of them in order to make room for cars and make the city accessible for all people, including me? Okay, let's demolish all the buildings so the Americans can get through. Okay, bit of Robbie Williams discourse here. On his question, I know vaguely Robbie Williams is a pop star in Europe who never got traction in America. I know he's a big star in Britain. But why did he make a Planet of the Apes style musical version of his life and think Americans would be interested? Why not just do a regular biopic? Does he have some connection to the simian world of which I am unaware? Okay, right. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, why would he be making this for Americans? Because it costs over $100 million. If you make a movie that costs over $100 million, you either need to be appealing to China or the US or both, because that money ain't coming back, and it's made quite a substantial loss, I think. And I think there's so many reasons why it's made such a substantial loss. I think the monkey idea was pretty cool. I think that was a cool idea. However, I don't think Robbie Williams is interesting enough yet to warrant a biopic. I think for a biopic to be successful, it either has to be about someone that is dead, or someone that is really, really old, or someone that is extremely interesting. Robbie Williams is like 50. Like, a biopic doesn't need to be made about him yet. Actually, I'm going to check out how old is Robbie Williams. Yeah, bang on 50. God, that was just a good guess. He's big literally everywhere in the world except the US, and yet you labor under... Yeah, but like, if you're making a movie with such a big budget, you do have to appeal to the US. I'm sorry, you do. And yet you labor under the delusion that this program was made for the US. Does everyone in the US suffer from main characters? Yeah, but it's true. Like, if you're making a movie that is that expensive, you do have to appeal to such a massive market like the US. Well, I'm going to leave it there for today's video. Like and subscribe, and I will self-fund my own biopic where I'm played as, like, a cat or something.